Hey guys, so welcome to the conclusion video of the Butterick B6453 Gertie Sew Along video series. As I said in my View B video, I definitely apologize for putting these out so late. Life got away with me. So this video is going to be kind of two parts. The first part is going to cover finishing up View A of this dress, which I'm wearing right now. So you'll be able to kind of see from where I left off View A, finishing it up, and basically all the steps that I did for View A at that point I did in View B, so you kind of see the progression of that. And then after I kind of show that and kind of give you my tips during those steps, I'm just going to talk about things that I learned from doing this project, what I'm doing forward, upcoming tutorials, and just kind of basically where I'm going to be taking what I learned from this sew along and apply to the YouTube channel in general. So definitely stick around for that. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Cool, so to get started on this where I left off, I went ahead and started to put in the zipper. I actually put in my lap zippers very differently than what Gertie recommended, but I figured I'd give this a try, see how I like it, see if this is something that, I'd want to start using my own garments and stuff. I mean, it was fine for this project, but I'll probably be doing a tutorial that's different about how I tend to put them in. But anyway, so I just went ahead and followed Gertie's directions, sewed down one side, cut out the little clip, turned that inside out, and then I flipped it around to the other side to measure again, with my little gauge measure to make sure that I measured out the correct amount. Once everything was measured out, I went ahead and pinned my zipper in place. I believe Gertie just went ahead and sewed hers in place with the pins and, putting that in there, but I'm definitely not the type, so I basted everything down just because I do not want any chance of anything wiggling ever. So it's definitely for me worth it to just go ahead and baste it. But from here, I just, as I said, kept going with Gertie's instructions. At this point, I overlapped where that lap zipper was supposed to be, and then basted that in place after I made sure that everything would be lining up as it was supposed to. Cool, so once everything's pinned in, I went ahead and did my top stitching and everything looked good to go. So as I mentioned in my previous video, I would have put in the facing pieces at a previous point, leaving like the zipper area open to be able to put that in later. But luckily the neckline on this dress did not stretch out too much. I did have to kind of steam the neckline back in place a little bit in order for it to fit the facing, but as long as your notches are lining up, you'll be okay. So I went ahead and just lined everything up, and then actually I didn't catch any video of it, but once you stitch it in place, you want to make sure to understitch it. You're not going to be able to understitch the entire neckline, but just kind of do as much as you can. So you'll see here in this next shot, before I kind of clip in everything in there. So actually, just hang tight because I think there might be another shot in there. Yes, so once I stitch everything in, then I went ahead and clipped all my seams. When clipping your seams, just make sure not to accidentally clip through your stitch line. It can be so easy, and I've done it so many times where I've just been doing it so fast that I have not paid attention, and then ended up having to kind of do some crazy hand stitching work to make sure that there wouldn't be any problems. But here I'm trimming down the strap area so that I can turn that strap properly. Oh, and now, as I said before, I went ahead and understitched it, and then I actually did a little bit of memory pressing on the lining and the facing, just so that that stuff would line up great along the zipper and along the bottom actually, and pinned everything in place. And then actually from here, and there's no video footage of this, but I went ahead and hand stitched everything shut all the way around. So I hand stitched the lining down and I hand stitched the facing down along the zipper tape just to make sure that it would fit perfect. Cool, so once you take care of the top, the lining, and the facing, I went ahead and just hemmed it, and at this point the dress is nearly done. I decided to use bias binding along the hem just because, I don't know, I think it kind of gives it like a luxe feeling. I actually saw this on a Dolce & Gabbana dress that I saw on display once, and all the seams were finished off with bias tape, and then they were hand stitched in place. So I went ahead and just pinned up my bias binding to the hem, stitched it in place, and then once it was stitched in place to the hem itself, I folded under the hem and then hand stitched it. So you kind of see what I'm talking about here in the next shot. Oh yeah, so you see there that I kind of did some pressing action, turned it up, put some pins in place, and then I hemmed it all by hand. Very similar to how I finished up the black version, except that I used hem tape. So thank you guys again for watching my video series on this. I definitely learned a lot about doing this sew along, not even so much about the sewing aspect of it, but just about how, what sort of questions everyone has, how many issues people have about full bust adjustments and that sort of thing. It's definitely been a learning experience for me as someone who creates like videos and stuff. So I actually started doing full bust adjustment tutorials. Like I started a playlist on this channel, so you guys can check that out. I'll be adding videos there based off of what I have to do for my measurements. Obviously, I understand that, you know, so there's some people who have to do small bust adjustments, there's some people who don't have to do these sort of adjustments, but it seems like it's such a huge pain point, so I wanna make sure that I keep doing those sort of videos for people to check out. At the very least, just how I approach it. Obviously, what I do is not gonna apply to everybody, but at the same time, if it's useful just to watch it, it might get your mind in the right place to be able to continue to do those sort of adjustments and not be put off by them. So in terms of these garments themselves, I actually really like View A. View B, which I have here, is beautiful. The problem with View B that I found in general was just that I personally picked the wrong fabric for this project. I picked a, you know, if you watch the View B video, it was like a stretch satin crepe, which sagged in the center front panel, which was kind of a pain in the ass because everything else was fine. The skirt was fine, the side panels, the back panels were fine, but the front panel like stretched in the center. So I ended up having to like kind of do a botched weird job of like taking in the center front panel, and it kind of pulls forward a little bit. So that was my fault. So moving forward, I'm gonna be, if I make this again, I'm just gonna make sure to pick fabrics that are a little bit more stable. Even though I underlined this black version, it just was not stable enough. So just doing that moving forward. So yeah, so in terms of would I make this again? Absolutely. I would make View A more than I would make View B, just because View A with this full skirt is more my style. It helps nip in my waist a lot more, which I like. And then this, the pencil skirt version, even though it's really beautiful, it makes me look really top heavy. So even though I have, you know, my measurements make it so I'm kind of proportionate, just this hole between my arms and my chest, I just look too top heavy, and I need that balancing part of the full skirt to kind of look smaller. Added to that, I'm actually going to be doing making belts for both of these. I didn't get time to before I did these videos, so I actually already bought the buckle. So this one is going to be the buckle for the black version. Is kind of this rhinestone buckle, and then I bought this maybe Bakelite. I think it's Bakelite, but I haven't tested it yet. They advertise it as Bakelite, so who knows. Belt for this View A, so you can kind of see that it kind of matches the color scheme really well. So I'll be doing a tutorial about that. And if you guys are interested in that, definitely subscribe to the channel. But yeah, I guess, you know, if you guys like this sew along video series, please let me know in the comments below, send me an email. Definitely always looking forward to hearing from you guys, and, you know, thank you guys so much for all the shout outs in the Facebook groups and things like that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the next project. This has been a long video series. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good one. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all the places and all the stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.